do you mean I don't do free advertising? Right, I'm back. Sorry for the abruptness of the ending of the first video. Just so you're aware of what's happened, I've gone ahead and started to mask off the frame to protect it from any paint or work I'm doing on the base. So, just talk tape for a second. What we've got here is Tamiya masking tape. It's very low tack. Sometimes can still be a bit too tacky, so you can always stick it onto your t-shirt or something like that just to take a bit more of the glue off so it tacks down nicely. For this project, you can get it in 3 types as well. What is it now? That's the dupe. Oh yeah, it comes in 6mm, 18mm and 10mm. So I've been using the 18mm for this project. Right, I'll just get on with this so you can see exactly what I'm doing with it. Dum-da-dum. Right, so get rid of that little end. So it's just a quick, get a bit of tape, snip that away, and you want to just slightly overlap. And all we're doing is, that's just in case, you know, I'm going to use clay or and paint. I don't want the black frame being damaged. And the reason I'm using the Tamiya stuff, which you would normally use on your models and everything, is say it's low tack, it's a cheap wooden picture frame. So I don't actually want any of that paint coming off. So I'd have to retouch it or completely respray it. So I'm quite happy with the finish it's got on it already. So that's that taped there. Just do this top edge. As you can see, the glue's gone off nicely now on the back of the frame. So just a bit of tape along this edge, just to seal that off. And anything that runs will run to the back and not over the frame itself. And voila, that's done. So that's all done. I've gone ahead and masked it off. I've also masked off a small part of the inside of the frame along this edge. Simple fact is, when I put the clay in, I still want to leave part of the black border like it's sat in the frame itself, even though this is the base. So, next thing, we need to come up with where everything's going to be placed and everything else. Now, I wasn't sure whether I was going to use water effects or not, and I kind of thought, yeah, why not? Let's give it a go. So, I'm roughly thinking that if I put the speeder bike and it stands somewhere about there, and I put the water feature, say here, and then sort of, I don't know, a couple of rocks maybe, so the bike should easily cover this area. And then I can put the figure somewhere here or along those lines, and just give it something to look interesting, so it looks more realistic. Right, next thing is I need to reseal a little tiny bit around this edge with some PVA glue, just like I did in the first video. So I'll get on and do that, and once it's dry I'll come back for the next step. Right, I'm back. As you can see, the glue's nearly dry. What I've done, if you can see this, while I've been waiting for it to dry, I've drilled a small 2mm hole through the board. Now I know we said about sealing it, but when I discussed the original base, it was on a clear piece of plastic. Now I picked up 2 of these rods on eBay for £1, about yay length. So I taped them over, cut them to size, so when they fit into the model, that's what the speeder bike's going to sit on. So what I'm going to do, I've got my hot glue gun here, hopefully it's heated up enough, and I'm just going to start pumping that in. There we go, get a little bit on there, wedge that through, get a level, and just seal it in. Now don't worry about it being a bit splodgy, because that is going to help this when I come to put the texture onto the kit. Now I'm just gluing up the back. Good glue on there. So you can't beat a good glue. Should dry in a few seconds. Get a bit touch more on there. And don't worry about the masking tape. That's just there to protect the clear piece of plastic while it sets. So make sure that's level. Just give that a second. Right. Sorry, mate. You keep looking up there. Pretend it's real. Put the touch button on there. Don't worry about the strandly bits. They will go away. That. Right. Let me just turn this off and leave that to stand for a minute or so. It doesn't take long to set. It's incredibly quick stuff, actually. Yeah, that looks level to me. Right, I'll just unplug this glue gun from my multi-adapter. Like that. Put that out of the way just to cool off. Over my paint booth. Now, just while it's setting, what I'm going to do next is, as you can see from the board, I've drawn a rough shape of where I want everything to be. So, what I've bought is this stuff. It's modelling clay, but it's an air drying modelling clay. Now, I've seen a few videos on this stuff and they're pretty good, and this seems to work really well unless you put it on way too thick. So what I've been told by a few people is use it thinly and almost layer it up just to get it into place, and then go from there. So not too difficult, I don't think. So what I'll do is I'll get this packet open and then I'll move on to the next bit, so which will be prepping the board and then starting to use this. Okay, see you in a few seconds. Okay, I'm back. Now, from what I've been told, here's the clay. Right, I'm finished. Now, best thing to do with this stuff is to wet your hands when you're working with it, because it's one of those substances that works better. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a piece of this clay, surface a bit, and I'm going to start moulding it into place and getting into all the cracks. This is going to be a rough surface around the area. So what I'm going to do, so you don't get totally bored out your minds, because I couldn't imagine wanting to sit here watching me doing this for the next however long it takes me to get it done. Smooth that into there. Oh, that's good. And then texture up. What I'll do is I'll turn this into a bit of the old magic of stop motion, and we'll go from there. So all I've done is smooth out any sort of fingerprints, so on, created a few little high areas, low areas, to make the basic of the train. And once that's gone off, which I believe I need to leave overnight, so I'll leave it overnight and let it dry, but I'll leave it there so you can see what happens next, and hopefully you'll come back and watch the next part. Next part will be the start of the painting and flocking process, and basically you've probably seen a million videos on it. If you haven't, just follow this and I'll go through each step. So the next step after this will be painting, and then flocking, and then hopefully assembling the speeder bike, putting it onto the diorama. Said it right this time, not panorama, but diorama. Anyway, let me know what you think. Leave a message in the comments. I'm not bothered if you subscribe or not, because I'm not that interested. I'm only doing this to prove I can do it to myself. And a few friends of mine who are in the modelling community that I respect, just to show that what they're telling everybody is being passed on in knowledge. If you want to watch some proper educational videos, you want to watch Tony and you want to watch Fox. They both have their own YouTube channels, and both of them have absolutely wonderful educational videos to do with model making and model building, painting, airbrushing, general chit chats on life. And as of today, which is Saturday, a really good one from Fox, basically about Bandai not being allowed to sell any more kits to Europe or North America, which is a terrible thing because the Star Wars kits are absolutely sublime. Anyway, I'll put their details here so you can see them, and I'll see everyone in the next video. But yeah, definitely check out their videos. They're well worth a watch. Okay folks, have fun. Bye now.